Welcome to session 19. God, 19. I'm going to be shocked every time. Welcome to session 19 of Fables from the Pickled Quipper. I believe in the last session, the third day of Silvaris' trial was completed. The party faced off against a vicious chimera, or chimera, as me and Rich used to say.
I got chimmery.
Chim.
The beast was brutal, and in its first attack, felled Claire with a burst of flame, nearly taking Cassette down too. Eventually, after a long drawn-out tactical battle, the chimera was felled, and eventually you managed to lug it back to town. The trial complete, Grethin bequeathed the sword, the breath of Bahamut, to Silvarius. Eventually, sleep came. Exhaustion was overcome to an extent for Silvarius.
Yeah.
Okay, so everyone has woken up. Was everybody at the Traveler's Respite?
For Silvaris, it took a little while. He spent a decent portion, probably close to about midnight, before he wandered back in. He stayed under the shrine of Moradin.
So, as you kind of get up in the morning and have some breakfast, one of the Nagra, the town guard, comes in, looks around, and you see him kind of look a little relieved. And he says, "Oh, thank goodness. This is the third place I've come to try and find you. Captain Alescu wants to see all of you." And you get the impression that he's just going to stand there until you say something.
Does that name sound familiar? I'm not good with names, sorry.
You ran into him many moons ago. He is captain of the Nagra, based out of the guardhouse in the center of this portion of town.
I'll say, what's he want?
To talk to you. Nowish. So, hurry up. I'm not to leave until you come with me. You see him kind of glance towards the door, and you see another one of the guards standing outside the front door.
Are we in some sort of trouble?
I mean, I'm asking you to come with me, so you decide, I guess. It's not really my place to say, just, you know.
I guess it's time to test that new sword.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I basically probably would be done. I imagine the party doesn't really savor the flavor. And just down the rest of my morning ale. Kind of just put my cup down and just look around at everybody else and see what they want to do.
Claire is also downing her ale with one hand, but then also shoving like any kind of breakfast, like bread or pastry that was on the table, like in her pocket with the other one.
And there is now significantly less bread and pastry on the table.
Esco wonders where her breakfast went, shrugs, and gets up ready to go.
Okay. Thank you. Come with me. And he heads out the door, leading the rest of you. He follows the path up past Gelmgurd's furniture and the statue of Tyr, past the well, and down to the still relatively small guardhouse for the Nagra. All right, come on in, please. Thank you. And he leads you inside the building, and it's very, very sparsely trimmed. Basically, there's just a few benches in there. On as you kind of go into the main room, there is a door off to the left that just says Captain. A little nameplate on the door. It says Captain. And there's a couple of other Nagra who are just sort of sitting around a couple of tables off to the right, playing cards, having a little drink. Hard to tell if they just arrived ready for the next shift or if they just got off the evening shift. They all look kind of gruff and so on. But as you head in, the guard knocks on the door. Come. Door is opened and you are welcomed into Elescu's, for want of a better word, office. The office is just a table. It's not even a desk. It's just a regular table that's been stuck in there. A rather uncomfortable looking chair on which Captain Elescu is sitting. And then there's a couple of benches on the opposite side of the table to him. Ah, right, come in. All right, you can go, he says to the guard who wanders off and lets you file into the room. It's a little crowded. There's now 5 of you, probably with Gidox on Tavares' shoulder. Right, sit, stand, do whatever. Right, so, standing it is. And he decides to stand because he doesn't want to be the only one sitting. Right. You lot. It's only been, what, a week, maybe? Since I first talked to you out there next to statue? Been hearing your names a lot. Gonna be honest, when you came in, thought you were right, rabble. I mean, Bardur, you're alright. I know you. But the rest of you, don't know you from Adam. Look like troublemakers. And he kind of like gives you a bit of the squinty eye as he says that. But turns out maybe you're not all that bad. I've been hearing from multiple sources in town of your good deeds. Priest over at Shrine of Moradin speaks very highly of you. And, well, a runner was sent to me this morning to inform me that not only did you return back with the body of the creature that had been harassing caravans out west, but also that you came back with the daughter of Hoon Windale. That's something special, that is. So, I need to know what to call the 5 of you. And you see he kind of pulls out a parchment and some ink.
Look around confused.
Tavares is actually doing about the same thing.
Yeah, similar.
Right, look. Here's what I'm trying to say. I've got some official paperwork over here. I'm not writing all 5 of your names every damn time. So, I need some sort of name that you will all answer to so that I can put it on this piece of paper. Do you have some sort of nickname for yourselves? Seem to have been together a while. Then he sort of rolls the piece of paper up. All right, well, look. I can't give you this until you figure this out. But I'll tell you
What it is that, by the
It's an Ethrael. That word would probably mean nothing to 4 of you. Bardur, you would know that an Ethrael is the the Delzimer equivalent of a deed. Wingdale's pulled some string. And, well, turns out there was some property available. Freshly available on the market, actually. Need of a bit of TLC, mind you. And they requested that we find a way to get it over to you. Once I have a name that I can write down on this Ithrael, it can be taken and registered, and then it's yours.
Perhaps we think about it.
I don't need a name right this second. Just understand that I cannot give you the Ithrael, which then needs to be registered at the Fulruth, as you well know, Bardur. Once it's been registered, then you can start figuring out how to make repairs and so on. Until then, well, it's not yours. Any questions? Oh, I forgot to say. Property in question. It's the Pickled Quipper. I believe you may have heard of it.
A lovely place.
Aye. Well, once upon a time, fell into some disrepair, as I said. But, aye, well. Oh! And he kind of yawns. Sorry. Oh, long night. I forgot. And he reaches and pulls two small bags out from a little box that he puts underneath his table, not having desk drawers. And there's two little purses that he puts on there. These were for you as well. Sorry. Forgotten the commotion. Sent over by the Windales again.
We are very grateful for bringing this to our attention.
Well, off you trot. Go figure it out. Come back to me when you know what you want to do. In the meantime, I'm gonna go sleep. If you figure it out before nightfall, just tell one of the guards they'll come find me.
Before you do that, I was actually going to mention to him about the bandits we found in that were dressed up as the Drake Warden.
He's sort of headed out the door, halfway open, and you say that, and he's like, closes the door, comes back around. Aye, I was afraid of that. He kind of leans in a little bit. Between you and me, I don't know that they were dressed up as Drake Warden. Chances are that they probably were Drake Warden. I've had some issues with them in past.
Who has outright jurisdiction within the town?
That is a very complicated question. Officially, Lanagra are the guard in the city. However, we're a fairly small group, not nearly big enough to keep control. Kind of scratches his chin a bit. He says, well, so basically, you can kind of split the city into about 5 parts, give or take. Maybe 6. Let's call it 6. So, right now, we're in what I think of as South Delzimer. You could argue this is sort of Drake Warden territory. I don't like to think of it that way. This is my beat, I walk it, but truth be told, they call a lot of the shots. As you head west, south of the river, then that falls under the Harlhound family. They have their own guard, their own militia, if you will. We mostly just try and stay out of their way. If you're in their turf, you basically answer to them. Once you cross over the river, on the north side, on the west, that's Bellark territory. Same applies. Yes, you're still following the laws of Delzimer, but chances are you may not actually face the Nagra if you step out of line. Just north of here is Jathlet territory. And he kind of looks over to Bardor and says, "Now, Bardor, you know Jathlet well enough. House Serat, well, I wouldn't say they bend the knee, Jathlet, but they are in the good graces of House Jathlet. Windales as well, for that matter. The very centre of town is sort of neutral territory. That's where the Fulroth is. That's where you go to take your Ethereal once that's done. We mostly keep that one under control. Northgate is that's the Olandran family. And then on the east side, you get into the harbour area. And that's, well, everyone's got a piece of that. So, when you say who calls the shots, it's not a question of who, it's a question of where are you. Because as you move around, that answer changes. Down here, I like to think I call the shots, but, well, that may or may not be accurate.
And what of outside?
The Nagra's jurisdiction officially covers everywhere within the walls. Excuse me, everywhere within the walls and everywhere within sight of the wall. Which is to say, if we're standing on the walls and I see you stab someone, I'm gonna come ask questions. Beyond that, pretty much just the law of steel. You protect yourself. No need to worry, eh?
If you ever need any assistance, let us know. Something about those Drake Wardens rubs me the wrong way.
Hi. You and me both. Alright. I'll bear that in mind.
Sleep well.
Ta. Eventually the guard who led you over comes and says, "Alright, come on, you can't be in here. This is his private office. Clear off." So, the 5 of you are outside the Nagra guardhouse in the center of South Delzimer. What would you like to do?
Well, guys, should we set up a bracket for what we're going to call ourselves?
It's the only way.
I know.
I mean, it took us how many months just to pick the title of the podcast?
Hmm.
I don't know if we're ready for this level of commitment to naming the party.
It's a really tricky thing to do, to sort of edge that line between cool sounding and definitely not cool sounding.
Not too edgy, but like maybe just
A little bit of edge, yeah.
but don't want to come off cartoon. Like,
Is it time to whip out the Latin translator?
I was thinking that.
I mean, the Doom Killers is a
Ver-
little
Veritas.
heavy-handed, but you know,
It's a little metal, but
Mhm.
you know.
you gotta like back away from that, but not so much that you're like the happy folks or something. It's like somewhere in between those.
If it's any consolation in the game Spencer and I were playing in is based in Saltmarsh, we were the
Oh,
drifting
gosh.
goat.
Oh boy.
The drifting.
And not particularly proud.
We sort of stumbled into the name, and we changed our boat from the Sea Ghost to the Sea Goat, and then the little landing craft is called the Sea Kid. It's all very painful.
Yeah, the crickets are a sign of how impressed we were.
Yeah.
I was wondering if we could. I wonder if we could play on the fact that we are shifted away from
is-
our, you know.
I was thinking something like that too, like temporal
Mhm.
came to mind, like
Planar wardens.
Oh boy, that makes us sound really official.
I mean, and imagine when someone hears the planar wardens are
I know,
after
they're
you.
Gonna... yeah.
Bador, do you want to take a look at the purses?
Yes.
Now, when you say purses, Phil,
Coin purses.
that's sad.
Apologies. One of them contains, without just pouring it out in front of everyone, just kind of eyeballing it using Bardor's keen sense of money, contains approximately 50 platinum pieces.
Mm.
The other one seems empty.
Seems empty, you say?
Calling everybody together, kind of huddling in a circle, I'll hold one up sort of and say about 50 plat. And the other one, I just gotta flop around, empty.
Further investigating the inside, is there like does it look like an empty bag?
Yeah.
Aha!
Phil's so evil. I can just think of him like, I'll just throw another bag in there. The bags are identical though?
No. They just both look kind of like coin purses.
Can I pick up like a stick and put it in there?
It's the stick bag we've been needing.
You try to put the stick in there. Coin purse is maybe about 4 inches in length. It's not very big. The stick goes in about 4 inches and stops.
We've solved the mystery.
Did I miss something? But why are we attempting to put a stick?
I've heard of magic bags that hold more stuff than they look like they should hold, so
Can you pull anything out of the bag?
Cassette, make an Arcana check.
10. Not my specialty.
You're not sure, but maybe there's something about it. It definitely doesn't seem like the other one.
Bardor, hold on to it. Maybe we can get somebody who knows a little bit more about that
Bags.
type of thing.
I will.
Claire
Make sure
in
to know it.
the background kind of just like awkwardly like half raises her hand and just says, I could take a quick look. I can detect the school of magic on things if it is magical.
I'll take it out of my pocket.
So yeah, she'll just hold her hand over it and cast detect magic.
It does appear to be magic. We're gonna say it's conjuration. Let's say it's conjuration. Yeah, this is the thing that DMs hate.
Hey, why don't we try putting a coin in there? I'll flick a silver into it.
The silver disappears.
Now, when you say disappears, Phil, do you just mean it goes out of eye line and it's sitting at the bottom of the purse?
Bardo, you're still holding it, correct?
Yeah.
You cannot see the silver.
Can I try to get it back out?
Yep. You reach in, pull it out.
Oh, that's a relief. I wonder how much you can put in there.
Could we dump the 50 platinum in? It's a similar size bag. I don't know what 50 pounds.
Purse doesn't feel heavier.
Oh, okay. And then can we pull them back out?
Do you try to literally pull out 50 coins in one time?
Well, I mean,
Okay. You're able to reach in, pull out 5 coins.
We probably shouldn't have been doing this right in the middle of town.
There's just 5 people
Huddled around
a
a
bag,
bag in the middle of the street.
poking it with sticks.
Well, I mean, I figured it's like in a locker room, or like in a locker, in the hallways. You're kind of like facing the lockers, and you're all having your little conversation.
The Nagra guards have sort of given you a slightly odd look, but
just standing around. Hey, try this.
You know, I say we don't use it for the money. I say we use it for the stick.
It can hold several.
Yes.
Do we all just start emptying our pockets of like random knickknacks and things that we picked up?
See how many we can stuff in there.
as you put a stick in there, the stick is still visible.
Perfect. That'll make it easier to get out.
Did that one bag have any like special designs on it, or like embroidery or clasps, or?
It looks very boring, actually. Very unremarkable. What do you want to do now?
We try to take care of the Chimera. Sell it for parts.
I was pondering the possibilities of that. Should we sell it, or attempt to in its entirety, or attempt to form a contract or deal with Ingfrin,
Probably seems like the best bet right now.
seeing he is the only one we know of yet. Which brings to mind, at some point we probably should explore this town better. I know you are familiar, mostly Bardo, but in case anything has changed.
Talking of change, Silvarius, I had a realization whilst I was going to sleep last night. If we find our way back to our own plane, there's a very good chance you'll have to go through all of those trials again.
One cannot be certain.
That's true, I just wanted to leave you with that thought.
There's a ponderous look on his face.
I suppose a trip to Ingfrin's would be sensible if he doesn't want it. Perhaps he can be the first to point us in the direction of somebody who may.
Very true.
To Ingfrin's then?
I think so.
Where is it? Is it at the shrine still? Somewhere.
Kelly offered to take care of it for you overnight.
Okay.
He set it on fire.
It was breakfast.
Yeah, right.
Very good. Who's going in?
Oh, I mean, I'll go in.
Silvarius.
Claire will probably want to go in.
I guess since I have the money, I don't like this guy.
Okay, who's not going in?
I think I am going in the end, so I think everybody's going in.
Okay.
As you push open the door, there's a little jingle of a bell. And you see a now completely bald cater pop up from behind a desk. Including eyebrows. Those are gone too. Oh, friends! Hello! It's been a while. Ingrid, we have company. from behind another table. Ingrim emerges, also looking a little lacking of hair in some places. Ah, good. You're back. How can I help you today?
What happened to you guys?
Kata's about to sort of launch into a big spiel. You can tell he takes a deep breath, and Ingram kind of puts out a hand and just says, "It's all in the day's work for an alchemist, unfortunately. One tries to create a safe working environment. However, occasionally, during the experimentation phase, as we try to create new and more powerful versions of the potions we make, certain unforeseen reactions occur. Also, I'm still a bit clumsy, and I put in twice as much powdered goat bladder the other day. That was a mistake." And Ingfrim just looks at him and says, "Yes. Yes, it was. So, you're here for a reason, presumably?"
How do you feel about chimera parts?
The first time you see him actually smile slightly. "You didn't.
Oh, we did.
Oh my. That's a rather interesting proposition. Fascinating creatures they are. Such conflicted beings with 3 heads from such different creatures, all vying for control." And he kind of looks over and sees Claire's burnt clothes, and Cassette's for that matter. "I see the Dragonhead had some control. Are you both well now?"
Oh, yes, thank you for asking.
Yeah, we got better.
And you're a little surprised, but to see what appears to be genuine concern on his face. "Well, I must say, taking down a chimera is no mean feat. If you have indeed obtained one, I would be very curious to see if there's anything that can be done with it." Oh, yeah.
Can you leave the store? It is close by.
I would rather it be brought here. I have all my equipment here, so I could, set to work, as it were.
It's a little big.
Well, yes, we can squeeze it through. The back doors there. We'll just take that central pillar out. That'll be fine. We can put that back in later. It's not a problem. And he literally goes to the back of the store, where, I mean, you couldn't even tell that it was a door, but just because it's so cluttered back there. It's quite dingy over in that corner. And there were apparently some little curtains blocking off the small windows on there. But he pushes both doors open, and then before you really have a chance to understand what's going on, he just wheels a cart at full speed and rams that central pillar, and starts that there's an almighty clatter as things fall off the cart. He's like, "Nearly got it. 1 second." And he just takes another run up, and you hear a splintering of wood as the piece comes flying out. "Right, here we go. Just have it brought around the back here. We'll load it in, and if you would be so kind as to also send for a carpenter, that would be most welcome." He's no longer looking at you. He's just sort of spun around and is just looking through shelves and drawers, pulling out all manner of rather terrifying-looking devices, saws, cleavers, drills, syringes. He sets up 5 different sets of scales and just sort of keeps plowing through. I don't think you're going to get anything more out of him right now. He's gone into that zone. I don't think you've really been here when he's been in the zone. It might be best if you have it brought over quickly though, because if he can't work when he's in the zone, it gets ugly.
I guess we go get it. Right?
Kind of figuring out how we would do that, but I mean, I guess
Well, it was in a
still
wagon.
could-
It was in a cart, yeah.
Yeah.
I guess we would push it or something because the horses are gone.
As you kind of go over to the shrine, and he says, "All right, so yes, you need the chimera back. All right, give me I don't know, 5-10 minutes, and I can have it brought over to the dried bunch. That's not a problem." He doesn't really give any explanation as to how that's going to take place, but reassures you that it'll be done. And he just sends a runner off, basically. Grabs one of the kids who's just sort of like sitting around the street aimlessly. Yeah, kid disappears off down in the general direction of Dorkins. Within 5 minutes, the cart is being pulled along and being led by a couple of horses. And the chimera appears to be in pristine condition. I took the liberty of preserving the body. I figured that might be useful for you.
Very much.
Great. So what are we doing with it?
We're just wheeling it over to Ingfrin's.
Right. It's not going to fit in there.
He's made a modification around the back.
Less I know, the better. Okay. And the cart is led around to the back. Kelly disappears back into the shrine, quite happy to wash his hands of the whole affair. So the chimera cart is backed up to the back of the store. And it's just kind of sort of sitting there at the moment. Chimera is still sitting on the back of the cart. Ingrim sort of as the cart pulls up, is like, "Wow, you know, I was still just a little concerned that maybe it was being exaggerated. But no, that's a real chimera. Right, bring it in, please." Looks at you expectantly.
Eska's looking at everybody else expectantly.
Yeah, I mean, I'll hope, and I don't know what exactly I would be doing, but can we lift it up, or?
This may be more a case of shoving.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Claire will climb into the back of the cart and just start pushing it.
Fair warning, I'm a little tired, so my shove checks may be not quite what they normally are.
All right, let's have everyone who's helping make an athletics check, please.
That would be a 21 for Claire.
Eska's not helping.
I mean, I'll help him.
Ow. Was really good. 9.
Claire got like the good spot, like, you know, and so like it's kind of like helping move a couch. You just kind of grab a corner and like I got a 10, so I'm like,
I got 12.
If I recall correctly, you only got it up there last time because Claire came in and made all the difference.
Yeah.
Once again, she's working smarter, not harder, and deploys a good fulcrum, and is able to sort of eventually, the four of you, with some effort and vague assistance and encouragement from Eska, are able to sort of shove the corpse through the open doorway. Oh my! Right. Well, obviously we can't weigh the beast. Goodness. Right. Well, thank you. I will. I'll start getting to work on this. And he sort of starts to try and close the doors.
Before you do,
Yes.
I would like a wing.
You want a what?
A wing.
Oh.
A chimera wing. Any objection? I don't see that there'd be much there for you.
Make a persuasion check.
Oh boy. Should have cast friends on him. Actually, I don't feel like he'd take too well to that.
Not 60 seconds.
Yeah. That is a 22. Ooh.
I suppose I could part with one. I don't need the whole beast. What on earth are you going to do with it?
I'd like to make something from the leather.
Very well. Not really my concern. And he sort of heads back into the building and retrieves a rather crude-looking saw. And does this part look about right?
Yes.
Just sort of just above where the wing joins to the body.
Yep. I mean, he
Yeah.
probably is going to do a better job than I would do anyway, so... I don't know.
There's-
He's got a better instrument, so that helps.
You could assist him if you like.
Yeah, I'll give him a little hand.
You kind of help steady him and sort of guide where necessary. And with surprising swiftness, he gets through the thick leathery dragon wing, which is essentially what it is. I mean, it's like a small dragon's wing. And says, "Well, here you go. Enjoy."
You too. I'm sure you're going to have a lot of fun.
And then he sets to work chopping the other one off.
I was about to ask, what is the understanding with this?
Oh. Honestly, I'd rather hoped you were just donating it for science.
Far from a donation.
I see. Well, what's your asking price?
Not knowing what to really ask for a chimera.
Yeah, I left my Kelly Blue book.
What's the selling value of a 1976 chimera?
Would I have it? I mean, this is probably a little outside my zone, but I have done a lot of hunting and trading before. Would I have any kind of vague ballpark idea of what I would want to charge for something this extraordinary?
Give me an intelligence roll.
Intelligence, you say?
Mm-hmm. Just straight intelligence.
That's gonna be a 13.
Okay. That's not too bad.
No, I was surprised.
You have not tried to sell chimera before.
No.
Most of the beasts you have dealt with have been more mundane.
Probably
elk,
mostly deer and yeah.
that sort of. Those tend to, depending on size and condition, and so on. You get probably top end for like if you got a real prize, say elk, which of course would be very difficult to transport as well. Looking at maybe 10 to 15 gold. This is definitely way above and beyond that. You would think at least a couple of hundred.
Yeah, it's got to be in the hundreds, right?
Yeah. But exactly what the going rate is tricky. Supply and demand is hard to judge.
I mean, supply and demand wise, we've pretty much got a good corner on the market here.
Yes, I haven't seen many chimeras floating around.
No, so far just the one, actually.
What do you think you'll be able to use this for? Is it possible that we could just take a cut of the products if it's something that would be beneficial?
Now there's a thought. Well, So, let's think. My assumption is, given the morphology of the creature, I should be able to extract a certain amount of essence of each of the three beings. I'm hoping that I will be able to find some sort of restorative magic in the goat's stomach, as is often the case with a normal goat. From the dragon, in addition to obviously the very limited amount of scales, but they may. This is not something that you could, you couldn't make armor out of these scales, but perhaps what you could do is make. It could be used in some sort of potion. I'm not sure what yet. I'm also hoping that I may be able to find something to do with the fire ducts, or however it is exactly they work. I've never been able to get this close. So I'm hoping some sort of fire-related potion. And then the lion's a little tricky. I'm not sure. I mean, it's certainly a very strong creature, very hardy creature. It may be that I can create some sort of potion to do with endurance or something like that. Again, it's a little unclear. Until I really get into it, I'm not sure. That said, assuming I am able to convert the raw materials into workable potions, just based on the size of the creature, I would assume that I could ballpark at least 10 different potions from this beast. Obviously combining with other materials I already have or that I may need to bring in. But yes, 10 potions of varying sorts. There may be other items that could be useful as well. But off the top of my head, that's what springs to mind.
So I'll turn to the group and see if that's... What do you guys think about that?
Personally, I feel like we've built a trust with Ingfrin. I feel that he will honor what we've done.
Nay, in my experiences, monetary values often lack in comparison.
I mean, if you are willing, I would... Maybe we could say you could take your pick of any one of the potions that I create, and then obviously you are still entitled to a discount on any of the others.
What
Could
about
perhaps increase the discount for the Chimera-related potions.
do you have a component pouch? I think I'm going to requisition one from you.
What, you just want one?
I mean, I just look at him. Just
Right.
look at-
Cater? Yes? Could you put together a component pouch for Bardor? Just, the usual sort of things. Right, of course. And for the next couple of minutes, you see Cater just full-on headless chickening through the dried bun.
Right before he ran off, Silvarius asked,
Make that
Thank you
And-
kindly.
Cater kind of pauses and looks at Ingfrim, and he just kind of nods. So for the next 7 minutes, you see Cater very headless chickening, and he's doing that thing where he's going so fast that he's creating extra work for himself. You literally see him go back to the same drawer, pull out the same item multiple times. But eventually, he comes back to you as during this time you just see Ingfrim is just sort of trying to figure out where to start with the Chimera. He's drawn on it a little bit with he gets a paintbrush with some paint on it and just starts drawing sort of like rough plans of where he plans to cut. But he doesn't get very far. It seems to be a lot of work going on in his brain at the moment. Cater arrives with 2 component pouches. Here you go. That should satisfy a lot of the most typical used components. There's nothing in there that's too out of the ordinary. If you do need something a bit more specific, you may need to come back, and we may have to requisition that separately. Okay?
Thank you.
Right. Well, if you don't mind, it would be easier if it were just me and Kate in here now. We have a lot of work ahead of us.
We'll see you soon, I guess.
Oh yeah, how long would it take? I mean, what's your estimate on creating these potions?
I mean, a lot depends on what I'm able to obtain from it. I would suggest that the first potions may be ready within a couple of days, but some of them could take weeks. Just depends. Kind of delving into the unknown a little here. I may have to try and consult some books, maybe see if there's any way to get a message over to some fellow practitioners who may have come across these beasts themselves.
Maybe 2d6 days?
Who can say?
2d6, that's nice.
Made mention of books. Is there some form of library?
A lot of the more... I'm assuming you're not just looking for any old book. A lot of the more...
research or
yes, well...
scholarly.
The more scholarly and more valuable books tend to be held by the satraps, which is to say the ruling families here. Realistically, you would probably need to find an inn with one of those families and see how generous they're feeling. There may be a certain amount of information available at the Folgers. The building has a number of uses, and I believe there are records at least kept there. Beyond that, you're looking at just finding individuals who may have tech. I mostly, I have a lot of things on herbalism and alchemy and such, but beyond that, not a lot. I very much focused on my field, as it were. And he turns and grabs what is most definitely a tree saw, like a proper big bow saw that has like 2 handles, one at each end, and just for Kate to come over. Right. Well, we need to start working on this. And he kind of holds it up. Kate grabs the other end, and they start moving towards. Right, Kate. So we're going to follow that blue line there, nice and straight, smooth, steady motion. You may leave now. That's fine. Thank you.
He'll nod and head up.
Yeah, since I saw the saw come out, that was my cue.
Claire will wave at Cater, and then she'll take one of the pastries that she stashed in her pocket and leave it on the counter for him.
He He tries to wave using the hand that's holding the saw. It drops. There's a loud clang. Oops. Sorry. And then he quickly grabs the pastry and just shoves the whole thing in his mouth.
She just kind of laughs and then follows everyone out.
Okay. Bye. And you leave. The door closes behind you as you hear some very disturbing noises. Some crunching noises from behind you.
The fun fact that tea takes way too long to make, and
Then you draw it out with a turkey baster.
They do make a couple of different varieties, though.
So, together, you combine your true Englishman.
Pretty much.
Yeah. I'm the tea and cucumber sandwiches. He's the English breakfast, and
I'm terrible at skating.
I turn into like a freshly born baby giraffe.
I was also deeply disappointed that I was not very good at doing two-weapon fighting. I
it's
wanted
like
to
the
be
most
good,
difficult.
and it didn't work for me.
what you soon realize is you're one weapon fighting with different weapons at different times. The other one you're paying no attention to at all.
Unless you go full, like, Tasmanian
It's
devil.
just a really fast.
Yeah, if you do the double windmill, I guess you could call that two-weapon fighting. But usually you just end up hitting them against each other, so you're really just fighting yourself.
Well, I was thinking the one where you put them, like, you just stretch your arms out and then spin really fast in circles.
Oh, like the whisk?
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
It doesn't.
Then you're tired and dizzy.
It sounds like a weird dance. Do though.
Yeah, right.
You're also very susceptible to low attack.
Does anybody think the Dried Bunch isn't the worst group name ever?
Oh,
We could,
the dead pressure.
not to be confused with the Tried Punch.
We've suddenly discovered that this is a two-party group. The people who know James Bond cars and the people who don't know James Bond cars. Isn't it the one
Are
where
you
he
shaming
had,
us for not knowing Aston Martin model?
No, not at
Are
all.
you Brit shaming us?
There's no
The
Brit
deep-
shaming.
The DB5 is from Goldfinger.
Mm-hmm. I don't know
Goldfinger,
anything
right.
about cars. Like I don't even know what car I have, but I know the DB5.
Good job.
Is that what
That's
they? Is there like a class in British school that teaches like random?
You can't
Like
get out of
British.
British school until you know all the James Bond stuff. It's just not allowed.
Because I'm realizing that I kind of take for granted that people just know the story of Robin Hood and know these other stories, and then
He was the fox, right?
Yeah, that's fine.
Right? Fell in love
Stole
with
the
that
money
pretty
from-
other, like, pretty fox. And there was a goose.
yeah, that's the one. So I know you're all standing in the middle of the street again.
Do we have any immediate business that sort of needs to be taken care of?
We could go visit the kobold plant.
Yeah, agreements with the kobolds. There was a desire to follow up over there with Silvarius. And then while we were in town, if we had figured out enough with the Nagra about like it sounds like the bandit situation was more of just
There was a guard that kind of got roughed up, or he saw something down in the caves.
Yeah, that was like way back at the beginning. I have to look through my notes for that.
Yeah, it was a while ago, but like he was like on leave basically, and we were basically told like to let him have some time.
If we want to buy stuff, are we
Yeah.
doing that out of session, or do you want to hear about it in session?
I would like to hear about it in session.
I'm curious if there's somewhere. I feel like because there's the smithy, But I would like to find like an elven. I don't know if there is one. I don't know if that's the only smithy. I guess I'm curious. Are there other workers of um, weaponry and such in town? I'll tell you what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
I'm looking for an elven crafted bow, a longbow,
I see.
or somebody who has the ability to make one. So I guess I would probably ask Badur if he knows of any other people in the city who have do similar work.
Give me history check.
Yarp. 7.
Okay. You know that there are not a lot of elves in Delsmer in general. There are half elves, and so it's possible there could be like a half elf smith somewhere in town. Thinking about where would be the place to look. You think probably the northwest part of town is most likely. Isn't one that springs to mind, but you just know that that is where a lot of the craftsmen in the city are based. Masons, carpenters, smiths tend to be up in that sort of portion of town primarily.
I guess from that, I might also think to go ask the elven sisters to see if they can pinpoint any, see if they know anybody personally
Okay.
that works over there. But we can come back to that. I was just using the time while people were trying to remember about the guard.
Gotcha.
I found his name in my notes. It was either Gerald or Gerald. Says saw something long and squiggly and is now on bed rest.
I think so. The reason that you're not sure of his name is that there's a Gerald and his brother Gerald.
That could explain the confusion.
One is J-I, the other is G-E.
Are those the guards?
Yeah. All right, so where to first?
I guess we're close to the Smith house. Did you say you wanted to go there, Eli?
Yeah.
So you wander over towards the Smith house, past the statue of Moradin, and head inside, and the heat is almost oppressive. The central forge is in full go, and you see Semlin working with one of his apprentices. Just as a reminder, Semlin only has one arm, and so as he's kind of like barking out instructions and hammering away as his apprentice moves the heated steel. Nobody seems to notice you come in. The noise is rather deafening in here at the moment.
Just walk up to the counter or to a place I can see him good and just holler out,
Hell,
Like there's the vaguest glance of recognition. He keeps working for another 10 seconds or so, and then directs the apprentice to put the steel into a water bath, and then hangs up his hammer and walks over. Forgive me. Had to finish. Couldn't stop immediately there. Welcome back in. It's been a little while. How are you?
well enough.
Very good. How can I be of assistance?
It is my understanding that you forged a brass brazier. Infant. I myself am looking.
I did do that. Yes. I'm just trying to remember. It was just a wee one, right, for traveling.
I folded it down. Rather convenient.
That's right. Aye. I could probably do another one of those for you. The 50 gold.
I guess I better go to Cosset for some gold.
Okay. You want to take the whole thing out of the group fund?
So Varus would just say, I'll walk up to Cosset and be like,
I need 50 gold.
without much explanation.
She pulls out 5 platinum and kind of gives them to you one at a time. You can say please.
Please.
The last one she holds back a little bit and then finally teasingly puts it.
His hand's just like held there, like waiting.
Yeah, I didn't think you'd find it funny, but
Yeah, it's there, the deadpan.
wasn't really the point.
Presumably, you then give that to Semlin.
Yeah, just places it on the table.
50 gold.
Lovely. All right. Obviously, I'm working on a couple of things right now. Maybe give me a couple of days, and you can pick it up. If I'm not here, just tell me you're here to pick it up. That's the only one that I've got at the moment, so they'll know who it's for.
Aye, then I shall see you in a couple.
As you start to walk away, hold on just a second. That's a fancy new blade you've got there. Don't remember you having that last time.
Aye.
Could I have a look?
He kind of raises his chin up a little bit and unsheaths it.
Oh, now. That's something special right there. You can...
You have no idea.
His eyes go very wide. That... Well, now. Tell you what. I'll give you 3,000 gold for it right now.
He sheaths it right in his side.
He gives a
I'll see
wry grin.
you in a few days.
Shame. That's a beauty. Understand. Right. See you in a couple of days.
Very good.
And as you walk out, you see him kind of start going over to his apprentice. Did you see it? Aye, that's fancy, lad. Alrighty. Then over to the two halves.
Hey, if
so,
we restore the pickled Quipper, we might actually need to go to the furniture store. Quite exciting.
Only when it's on a going out of business sale, though.
Yes.
Always.
Best
always,
deals.
as you walk past the furniture store, you do notice there is a sign up there advertising never before seen discount.
Well, now.
So you come up to the two halves, and Aaron and Ephraim are in there. Good day.
Good day.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
We still have those clothes you were looking at before, if you're interested.
I might hold off for now if that's okay. I still haven't used the ones I bought yet, so
Very well.
at some
very
point,
well.
perhaps. I was wondering if I presume you have a reasonable knowledge of the other elvish folk in town.
Yes, we're rather few and far between.
You don't know of any elf or half elf that would have the ability to make bows, would you?
not interested in just the standard stuff. Is that what you're saying?
I miss a proper elven bow.
Let me think. Over in the Belloc Quarter, Almos. I believe he might be the person you wish to talk to.
Ah, thank you very much. Almos. I thank you for the information.
No problem at all.
Oh, you don't happen to sell charcoal, do you?
Yes, I should think so. Let me take a look. I should have some over here somewhere. We have a little bit of everything.
I don't need too much, just a bit.
Aaron sort of disappears for a second and comes back and says, yes, I have a little here. How much did you need?
Just 2 or 3 sticks.
Oh, fine. Well, here you go. And holds out 3 sticks. Just 1 silver for those 3 is fine.
Hand it over.
Anything else for you or your companions?
I believe somebody was looking for something.
Yeah, Silvarius.
Yes. How may we help you?
Looking for several items.
I see.
I need. Should you have 200 feet of rope, pitons, climbing gear, perhaps a grappling hook?
I see.
I will step in a little bit and say I've got those if you want to buy another set of those, it's fine. Do you have that gear?
If I lose you, then I'm all luck.
Fair.
Right. And I'm assuming, based on the description so far, we're wanting some nice sturdy rope, not looking for fancy silk rope. Very good. We'll say 35 gold pieces. How does
Sounds fair.
there's a small woven bag that the pitons are in, but the climbing pack, the climbing gear itself comes in like a little pack as well. The four coils of rope are dropped at your feet, along with a grappling hook. Here you go. Everything you need.
He's gonna stuff all that into his adventuring.
Lovely. Anything else for you today?
Not that I can think of.
Very good. Out of curiosity, well, not just really a reminder. We do buy as well as sell. So if you find anything on your travels, clearly you're adventuring folk, do be sure to visit us. What's next?
Are we close to where the guard is? Do we want to do that first, or do we want to investigate town? I'm easy.
I mean, I guess we're still in this area, so close to the guardhouse.
So you head back to the guardhouse? Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, look who's back. How can we help?
We heard a few days ago of a particular individual, Gerald or Gerald. Can't recall his name.
Well, it matters.
But he was in.
We got one of each of those.
One of them was in the cave.
Oh, Gerald. Right. He's convalescent at his mother's.
And where is she?
Well, see this road right here? He just kind of points to the one behind you. All right. If you follow that up past the 2 Ave north, that becomes a Vandair Street. The house is down there, just about a 5-minute walk down there. There's that seedy bar down there. Oh, I forget the name. Then you kind of see him puff his chest up a little bit. I don't make a habit of going to such places, personally. The guard who's sort of standing with him out the front. It's the Demon and the Wolf. That's right. Demon and the Wolf. Take a right at the Demon and the Wolf. It's like second house back from there.
Before we head that way, have you spoken with him? Is he well?
They might appreciate the company, to be honest. We don't get a lot of time off as Niagara. It's mostly work and sleep, so don't suppose many people have gone and seen him for a while. Plus, his brain's gone all flumpy, so there's that. I'm not sure he's all there, not since that day. But, you might still be able to get something out of talking to him.
Very well. Before we head anywhere, just curious. The Drake Warden, what is your opinion of them?
They are fine, upstanding folk who are here at the behest of Drakesburg and do good things for our city.
Right.
You can make an insight check if you want.
Does it need one?
Probably not.
Because then if I do, then I'm liable to believe him and be like, oh.
Pull the cue card out of his pocket to read it, or
And he was very careful to make sure when speaking in public that he didn't put a word wrong. Just thinking back through your travels through Dulcimer, you've seen the one at that south gate, which has been your main your main way in and out of the city. Actually, you have seen them over by their tower there, just north of the Niagara guardhouse. But you haven't really. You don't remember seeing any sort of just on the street, as a rule.
With that keen, perceptive eye of mine, I look around and don't see any. Kind of just lean in.
I myself share a growing dislike.
He kind of gives you a slightly alarmed look and just says, No. They are wonderful, upstanding citizens. He kind of glares at you as he says it.
There's a reluctant nod and he stands back up and just asks him,
Your name?
I'm Marcus.
Well, Marcus. Perhaps we may speak privately in the future. And perhaps not.
Maybe. I do like drinking. Not unusual to find me over at the Bucket of Blood of an evening if I'm not on duty.
Good to know.
and he just kind of turns and starts walking away.
Give my regards to Gerald.
Hi.
Before we go, I ask him if he, on any patrols or anything, if he had heard anything about Any like hags, or does he know anything about that? Or
Ags. Don't remember nothing about no ags, but wouldn't surprise me if there was something like that in the forest. Place is cursed, I reckon. Weird noises happen from there. I don't step foot in it personally. I don't know many people that do.
yeah, does anybody? I mean,
It's creepy, isn't it? I'm sure there's someone foolish enough to go in there, but they don't ask us to go in there, so we don't go in there.
if you had to guess, who? I mean, have you heard of anybody going in there? Anybody in particular?
I mean, well, there's that group. What's their names? Relevers, Red Fang. I think that's what they're called, something like that. Based out of the Reaching Hand over near the harbour. They're sort of rough and tumble adventurer types. They do all sorts of things. I know they did this big thing for a. I mean, this was before my time, mind you, but there's the stories known well throughout town. Some fancy wizard went and paid them like, I don't know, hundreds and hundreds of gold to go into the mountains and bring back 5 dozen goblins. It was a bit of a massacre, to be honest, but they brought back the goblins and got paid. They didn't bring back most of their men, but that just meant that those who came back got a bigger share. So, I mean, that was 50 years ago now. But the group's still going strong, just, new membership every now and then. But if anyone's crazy enough to go into the woods, it's probably them.
I do appreciate your time, friend. This was very.
You're welcome. You come back, talk to me anytime. Kind of gives you a slightly creepy wink. Gethrin Marcus. He kind of gives a slight bow. And might I inquire as to what you call yourself?
Oh, I'm Cosette.
Well met yourself, Cassette. And rather outlandishly, he gives you yet another wink.
No, I saw the first one.
Oh, right. Okay. He looks away rather quickly. So, you head north. And sure enough, there's a little way past the two halves. There's a big intersection, a Vandeer Street. You can see the sign for the Demon Wolf. But before you get to that, on your right, there is a rather splendid-looking manor house. Just sort of catches your eye, sticks out a little bit. A lot of the buildings so far have been rather, a lot of one-story buildings. Not a lot to sort of show for themselves. This one, large stone-built 2-story manor house on a fairly sizable plot of land. A couple hundred feet down from the Demon Wolf. It's sort of like a fenced-in, like wrought iron fence. And there is a coat of arms at the sort of the front gate. It's a white shield with a leaping black panther on it.
Do I recognize that?
Yes, that is the Jathlet coat of arms. Yeah, and you notice that there's like no Nagra around at this point. You do see some folks going around in the the sort of the Jathlet. It's not really a uniform, but you see some of their militia. The militia are wearing sort of like a light green color primarily, and then they have the that coat of arms. But yeah, you're able to walk past without being accosted or anything. Eventually get to the demon wolf. It's a rather shabby looking inn. Well, no, not even an inn. It's just a tavern. And there's a small alley that goes down to the right of it. And easily enough, you're able to find the home of Gerald. Or at least the home that was said to be Gerald's.
I guess I might step forward here
Okay.
for a softer approach.
Give the door a little knock. Just a minute. You hear some shuffling around behind the door, and eventually it creaks open. See a hunched over halfling, which means she's very short indeed. Yes, hello.
Hello. Does Gerald live here?
Yes. Do you know my Gerald?
We don't know him yet, but we were hoping to get to know him. And maybe try to help to get to the bottom of what's been bothering him. We spoke to the guards at the guardhouse, and they wanted to pass on their well wishes, but we also wanted to just check in with him.
Oh, that's very nice. Yes, please, come in, come in. She opens the door wide for you to come in. The house is in pretty poor state of repair. Also in fairly significant disarray. Some piled up dishes. There's just a lot of stuff in a lot of places, like just random stuff piled up. She just sort of says, sorry, forgive the mess. Gerald usually helped keep things under control, but he's not been himself, unfortunately.
Yes, so we heard.
Come through. Would you like something to drink?
Oh, that would be very kind.
Lovely. Sorry, I forgot to introduce myself. I'm Geralda.
Geralda, lovely. What a unique name.
Thank you. Yes, it's a family name.
Oh. My name is Eska.
Eska, dear. You have such a kind face.
Well, thank you.
Yes, right. He's through here, and she kind of pushes open a door, and you see a rather stout-looking halfling propped up in bed. Mess of wavy brown hair. Looks like he's like some of his hair's maybe a little damp, and he has a couple of sort of beads of sweat on his face. He briefly looks over to you and then just goes back to staring forwards as you come in.
I'm going to, as I enter, I think I am going to go ahead and cast Detect Thoughts. And we're gonna subtle cast that.
Okay.
And I will, I'll just keep a monitor, and maybe just let me know if anything. I think I'm just gonna go surface for now. Let me know if anything unusual swims up.
Okay.
Anything either contradictory or not expressed.
Gotcha.
Hello, Gerald. How have you been? today?
I'm alright.
We just went past the guardhouse, and they were sending their well wishes that you make a speedy recovery. They want to see you back.
That's nice.
My name is Eska.
No.
We're a group of people trying to find our way, find ourselves in Delzima, and was hoping to check with you something about what you may have encountered on your travels. We recently found ourselves below the ground, underneath the cliffs. And we heard from somebody or other that you had recently found yourself in a similar place.
You get some fear coming through at the moment.
If I may be upfront with you, when we were down there, we encountered some strange creatures that seemed unnatural, very scary, very wrong.
And as you say that, you see, almost see, in his thought, like a word description, essentially, of the Grimlock creatures that you encountered.
Mm-hmm. You know what I'm talking about, don't you? I can tell.
Yep.
What happened? You're back here, so you made it. How did you make it back?
Ran real fast.
Did anything talk to you?
And you get the image of tentacles.
This is a strange question to ask, but did you hear a voice in your head?
Yeah.
I've heard that voice too. What did it say to you?
You see him kind of scrunch up his face a bit in concentration. Said, "Run."
It told you to run. Does that sort of match his?
Yes. Yes, it does.
Okay. There are dangerous things down there.
Yeah. Don't like.
Did you? No. Me neither.
And you get something else form. Something. There's tentacles again, but not like before. There's like a massive tentacles. Hard to say how many. That look like they have barbs on the end. And you kind of read the way he's kind of remembering it, essentially. And he kind of slowly looks up, and the tentacles kind of go up into this weird beaked brain.
I see.
I don't.
Did you see that?
Yeah. Yeah. I ran.
How deep were you? How did you end up down there?
Sneaky.
Was this part of your job to scout it out? Or
Yeah.
was it your own?
Yeah.
I see. I'm sorry you had to encounter that. I thought we had seen frightening things, but you truly have seen some horror.
I rest now. I'm getting better.
Time will help. You stay here, you get strong. You put those memories behind you now.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Gerald. I'm sorry to make you think back on that. I encourage you to try to avoid doing so in the future, but it will help us at some point. Our group may have to go and take care of what you saw, and what you have told me will help us. But you stay on the surface. You'll be just fine.
He kind of nods at you.
Am I here sort of by myself in the room?
I mean, you could have, like, she kind of was leading you in. I guess it was open
Okay.
too.
I was sort of concerned about not sort of overwhelming him with a flood of people, but maybe a couple would have been good. A couple of the more sympathetic, friendly-looking people.
That's kind of why I figured I probably wouldn't go in.
Yeah.
Claire probably would have hovered in the doorway.
Yeah, during this, Bardo was probably being engaged in very awkward conversation with Geralda.
Well, Gerald, I don't want to, cause you more bother.
It's okay.
You okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me, this is popping back out of character. Eska will probably engage him in some friendly small talk, trying to shift the subject to more normal things, hobbies, and such things, just to, give him a bit of normality and a bit of a visit.
Mm-hmm.
Just until he seems like he's done.
Yeah.
Unless anybody interferes. But if not, she'll just do that and try and leave him in a better frame of mind than when she got there.
Okay.
Best she can.
Give me persuasion with advantage.
17.
Okay. Yeah. Easy enough. You're able to kind of guide him back to happier thoughts, and he seems in a good way.
Good. I didn't want to leave him sort of dreaming about identical monsters again, so I guess, yeah. Once I feel like he's back in a better frame of mind, as much as can be, gonna sort of get up and back out. Thank Geralda. Thank you, Geralda. It was good to catch up with him.
That's kind of you to pay a visit.
If he takes a turn for the worse, which he doesn't seem in any indication of doing, feel free to get somebody to let us know.
How will they know how to reach you?
We have a few contacts in town. You can the Dried Bunch, the Shrine of Moradin. We frequent both these places very regularly, so they would be able to get word to us.
Okay.
But yes, I'd like to make sure he makes a full recovery.
He certainly seems in good spirits now.
Yeah. I hope he keeps going that way. Thank you for your hospitality. We should probably be off.
Okay, well, come again. I'm sure he'd be
Thank
happy
you.
to see you.
Thank you. We will try and do that. Assuming the rest of the group is kind of backing their way out, she will back her way out. I'll sort of fill everyone in, just in case they didn't hear, and I guess Badr wouldn't have heard, so I'd just do a general fill in to make sure the group's up to date. I don't know about all of you, but I wasn't hoping for more tentacles.
But we were aware there were more. Or his master that he mentioned.
I'm not sure that we can do anything about him, yet alone this higher power. It's all a bit overwhelming, as of right now.
Perhaps. Yet, we know a bit more, and the more we know, the better. We
This
have
is true.
some semblance of an image.
Did the thing he described, did that ring any bells with the thing that beamed me in the cave?
Does not sound like a match for the thing that dinged you in the cave. Bador, you can make a history check.
Alrighty.
With advantage, actually.
Oh, 14.
Nothing springs to mind immediately. There's a lot of weird things once you start going down underground. This could be one of several, but you can't sort of pin it down to one thing in particular. There's a number of weird tentacly, beaky creatures that sort of float across your mind as you think about it. It's a rather unpleasant sort of 3 or 4 seconds as you think about all the different weird creatures that fit the description.
You had mentioned that he said that he was going down there because he was sent down. He was scouting, right?
Yeah.
Alesko said they're pretty much just stuck around the town. Those caves aren't really around, like right around the town. You have to go a little way.
The captain, we could check in with him, maybe find out if he really did send them down, and if so, why. We've got to go visit him again anyway at some point.
Well, I reckon probably not a bad place to leave it for the night. And
I didn't get to kill anything, but
it's delayed compensation.
once we got past that stick thing, I thought we were.
It was very delayed compensation, in fairness, because you kept messing with the stick.
Yeah, that's my bad. I own up to that.
This episode will be titled "The Mystery of the Bag."
Well, and you still don't know what it's called yet. So for now, just put mystery purse on your inventory.
It's a satchel.
No. It's a mystery purse.
Mystery Purse, could that be our group name?
No,
Okay.
Mystery satchel.
maybe.
The DM just vetoed.
Yeah.
Damn.
I
I've never
won't stand for.
I've never been so determined for that to be our name.
You guys.
Well, there we have it. Thank you very much for listening, everybody. We leave at a rather uncertain note, unsure which way the adventurers will go. I'm sure something will crop up. It usually does. Thank you for listening once more, or watching if you're on YouTube. A reminder, as always, we're available on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcast, podcasty places, all of the podcast places. That's where we are. We'll see you next time with more fables from the Pickled Quipper. Goodbye.